Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's why we don't recognize that we are the ones projecting a particular image from in us into this great, big, quote unquote, invisible womb that we cannot see. But if you knew that the mood you presently occupy habitually, you always go back to a particular mood. Is it a mood of agitation? Is it a mood of peace? Is it a mood of satisfaction? Is it a mood of agitation? What is the mood that you presently occupy? But you're not just presently occupying it, you are habitually occupying it. You're always in that mood more than you are in any other mood. What mood is that? Because when you recognize that mood, then you will begin to comprehend why your external experiences match. But because we do not recognize our habitual predominant mood that we are always in, when an experience arises, we don't know what it is. And we say, well, why is that happening to me? Because it matches the mood that you projected from within yourself out into the exterior world. That's why. So we always, not sometimes or most of the time, but we always project from within ourselves our mood. And our mood, let's say somebody made you angry and you're thinking about them. Now, you're probably angry. You're probably in that mood of anger because they said something that cut you, right? You're in that mood because you are remembering an experience. Do you see what happened there? The mood generated an image, and that image shows you, that image implies that you are upset. So what image implies that you are gainfully employed? If you had a great job, not just any old job, but the job that, you see, the mood, what is the mood? A particular job that you have is going to put you in a mood. What is that job that matches the mood? You see, sometimes we go out and we just get any job because we feel like we must. But look at the mood and then look at the job you're doing. King Bubba said, I got a job that I don't like. That's the first line of his song. I got a job that I don't like. You see how your inner mood matches the external experience? It goes the same way for if you have this particular attitude towards work in the first place. Julie Black, by the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread. That's her song. Mind you, it is scripture too, but it's her song. If that is the attitude, you see, all men must work, but not, we don't just work because, well, if we have the attitude that we must work or we live to work instead of working to live, if we have that attitude, well, then the job that you choose is going to be a reflection of that mood, the way you feel about the job. So when you want to create your ideal job, your ideal career, the way to conjure the image in your mind and to rouse the feeling, to rouse the body to act, the mood, what kind of job would you be doing? I didn't ask you if you wanted to make 6 figures. I asked you, what is that mood? What job would you like to be doing? That you will get up and you will go to it every day and you'll be excited to be there. Or you'll get up and hate having to be there. And here's the thing. I saw it unfold. My life and then my old boss's life. He absolutely hated the job. He hated it. And then he fell at work, causing him not to be able to work for a while. Do you see the correlation? Do you see the corresponding mood and experience? And some would say, but he just happened to fall off the ladder. No, he didn't just happen to fall off the ladder. It was the point of origin, the original mood that said, remember Karate Kid says, I hate it here. When Jaden Smith was Karate Kid. That was his predominant mood. Get me out of here. I can't stand it here. So then, coincidentally, he fell and had to get out of there. So you see, if you would recognize that it is your mood, that you're projecting outward all the time, you would always know what kind of experience you're gonna have. You will know the mood of the experience because it will match what you just projected out there. As I mentioned, because we cannot see the womb or the ether, aka, because we can't see it. 1, we think it doesn't exist. 2, we don't look at ourselves to see what we are projecting into the world. And because we don't see what we project out into the world, because we are unaware of what we are doing, the first thing we ask is, why is this happening to me? People ask, but Angela, are you saying that children do the same thing? Yes, we all do. Why is that? Now, teeny tiny children, they don't do it of their own volition because they are presently unaware. They're under the stewardship of their parents. So if the parent has a predominant mood of whatever that thing is, that now is projected into the ether And the focal point is what? What is that predominant mood? But because I know some of you don't want to believe that, you don't have to believe it. It is a simple matter of observation. We don't say, you know how people say, well, Angela, that's really ignorant to say. Children don't bring these things on themselves. No, little teeny tiny children do not bring it upon themselves because they're presently unaware. They're presently unaware because they're not the ones making the decision. The adult is the one making the decision. So the child is under that umbrella of the adult. But here is the interesting thing. The child may not have, quote unquote, brought it about, but because a predominant mood has been instilled into the child, now it continues to be perpetuated. We call them generational curses. So, what you are versus what you want, those two things are always in alignment. What you are versus what you want, they're always in alignment. Because we project what we are into the womb of life. And that's what we get back every single time, by way of an experience or by way of experiences that match the mood. The mood will always be matched. Every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So if the mood is being matched, if your mood is, nobody ever listens to me. You see that feeling of not being heard? You feel like you're yelling into the wind and it's just blowing right back in your face. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody cares about you. This is how you feel. That mood is projected outward into the world and can only bear that fruit, where you feel like you're always having to argue and debate and nobody is actually listening to you. That's the mood. But that mood did not arise on its own. The frustration of not being heard originated from somewhere. And what we as people tend to do, we want to go back and dig it up and try and find where it came from. Just remember this. It came from an original experience. It came from an experience. Just remember that part. Save yourself the trouble. Because if you keep looking back at where it came from, trying to dredge it up, trying to find it, what are you continuously projecting out into the world? The present mood. In order to change, you must get inside and form the image of what you want to become. The image of what you want to become has a mood attached to it. I gave you the analogy of the realtor. You have to tell that realtor what type of house you want, where you want it, what your budget is, what your deal breakers are. If you say to the realtor, I want something with upstairs living and downstairs living so I can rent out the basement part, He's not going to go and find you a condo, because your mood is not the condo. Your mood is the up-down residences, so that two people can pay the mortgage at the same time. That's the mood that's driving you. That's why you made that choice. So he goes out, or she goes out, the realtor, and they call you and say, hey, I've got these places that match. Let's go look. And when you go look at these places, you will walk into them. Even if you didn't buy the house, but you were looking at renting a place, when you walk into it, you make your decision how? You say, this one feels the best. Why? Because it matches the mood. Now, the realtor, what is very obvious, because it shows you something tangible right away, mood and house. But apply it to your life now. You want to make a change. Well, then you've got to define the change. And the image that defines, and it says to you, if you do this, this is the thing that shows you you've changed. The Jefferson's theme song is going through my head right now. Because it signified something. Moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. I'm moving on up. The mood was what? The mood was one of, ooh, I made it. So the deluxe apartment was confirmation that they made it. It matched the mood. So the assignment, if you will, is to pay attention to your present mood at all times, even though it may seem to be tedious. Pay attention to your mood. Because if you pay attention to your mood, and your mood feels kind of, kind of questionable, well, that mood will tell you what type of experience you're going to have. Well, it has to match the mood, right? But you'll realize that there's always that one image. And when you come upon it by way of your feeling, you say, yes, that image implies that I have fulfilled my mood. Because this is how we live our lives naturally, every single day, all day. We live our lives according to the mood, and we have the experiences that match our moods. But because we do not see the instantaneous response, we think that the mood has nothing to do with the experience. So what kind of mood would you be in if you were in your ideal relationship? You cannot come with the mindset of, these hoes ain't loyal. Why are women so mean to men? Why are men so mean to women? Why does a man want a submissive woman? You cannot come to that relationship with that mental mood. The mental mood would be, what kind of man or woman would you be in your ideal relationship? There is something that you would be doing in your ideal relationship. Remember the deluxe apartment. So what would your deluxe experience be in this relationship? You gonna be arguing all the time? Oh, well, clearly not, because who wants that? Who wants a contentious household? Nobody. You see, we don't have to get into all of the details of, he's got to be tall and he's got to be... No, you already have your preferences. They are already there. You already set the parameter for what your attraction is, for what you like aesthetically. It is already there. That's not what you're looking for. That's just a detail. And the details are always going to be met. But what you're actually looking for is the mood.